this computer only.
Awesome. So let's go through the 10 ideas, whatever you have. And I will not be surprised if we are not able to complete the entire book in 10 ideas, because just the business model types, you can have 10 ideas. Just the way you look at the BMC, you can have another 10 ideas. So I understand. I have read this book like para by para, page by page. Every single figure, I'm very much aware of what this book contains. So it would be great to hear what your takeaway has been. And then we will see what are the important things that must be covered, and we can tweak it accordingly. And if you're struggling to finish it in 30 to 40 minutes, I totally understand. Like, this book is not something that can be contained. However, we can still simplify a lot of it. So let's go.
So anyone else, if you want to go ahead.
Whoever is starting, whoever is starting the first idea.
I think we all have it. So before,
we haven't divided.
We haven't decided.
So we haven't decided.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, we decide now. Done.
Yeah. Kathy, one thing I found fascinating about this book, right? The previous books where we read, it's mostly concentrated about creating the value, satisfying customer needs.
Correct.
We focused more from that value creation part. This book moved something away from that. Included, but also covered a broader topic of making the business profitable as well. At the same time, creating value. So
absolutely.
That was one idea I found really good.
Fabulous. In fact, the business model canvas should have come before value proposition. I know that that's a great sequence. However, when we appreciate value proposition, we generally understand the business modeling a lot better, because the heart of the business is in the value proposition and everything is surrounding that. So what you're saying is so right. This is dealing with the entire holistic big picture of a business model. So we have to definitely say that. Fantastic. What else?
One thing which I felt, Kati, the very first idea, talking about the 9 different components of the business value canvas, I think that is the idea of the book. And
yes.
I also feel that we may have to end up a lion's share of the time. So that idea, I do not think it will take 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, because I could be wrong, but what I feel is that each of these 9 components, you have to talk about each of them and what is their value. So even if we talk like 30 to 45 seconds, it's going to be at least 6 to 9 minutes.
Fantastic. So which means all the 9 components we want to touch upon and cover. What does each of it mean? Okay, so let me listen to the rest of, like, must have. If you have not read this book and if you're listening to 10 by 30, these are the 10 ideas you must know. So what else do we want to cover?
I can tell you one thing which I missed after looking at everyone's slide, but now I think it might be a good idea. Like the blue ocean versus red ocean. I thought it's a small thing, but I think everyone else has covered it.
Huge.
I was focusing mostly on that, so maybe we need to cover that as well.
But blue ocean versus red ocean is also a type, but there are more important things in this book. So I want to hear more of your nuggets.
So let's do this. I am recording, so can Madhu, Ananya, and Shruti, you guys can go ahead. And I tend to speak a lot, so I might better speak in the end. So.
Sure. How to share the screen? I can't figure that out.
So
okay,
in the
hold on.
You will find a share screen green button.
Yeah, you should be able to share, but let me also see in case
it is disabled. So
disabled. Rohit, can you please give folks
access. Sure, one second.
Yeah. Hold on. I think it's because I'm in my phone that this is happening. Let me.
No,
You
I
have.
have the share screen button enabled.
I'm calling Madhuri to help me.
Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll show you where exactly we are.
Yes, done.
Okay.
But it's hidden under a stupid security setting. Guys who make these products. Okay. Sorry, and that's all of us. I take responsibility. Let's go. Yeah, Ananya, go for it.
Ananya, you are not able to share the screen still?
No, you should be able to. Everybody can share screen now.
Yes, yes. Now I can.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry.
no problem, no problem. Just talk about what are the top 10 things you want to talk. Let's go into the details after that. What is a business model? Fabulous. Okay, the 9 blocks, fantastic. What else? The business model canvas. In one A4 sheet, you can understand the whole damn thing. Okay, next. Are you saying something and I'm not hearing it?
Ananya, you are on mute. I think she's just going through the ideas.
Okay, fantastic.
And can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
there was this option of screen sharing which basically muted me. Sorry.
Gosh, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, so in the second idea is basically the canvas with the example and
Mm-hmm.
activity that I was thinking of, just creating a simple
Fantastic.
canvas. And then third
Yes,
is around the patterns. This is a big
yes.
one. It covers all the 5 patterns that the book talks about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third is the design. Sorry, fourth is the design. I'll rename it. And design is basically all the 6 designs, which is the insights, ideation, visual thinking, prototyping, storytelling
So telling
scenarios.
scenarios. Okay.
Then it's empathy map, which I think is a part of the customer research, the customer insights, but I've
Mm-hmm.
just written it. I like the map a lot.
Okay.
And then the environment, which
Environment.
is which is around the whole environment and like evaluating business models,
Mm-hmm.
which is the SWOT analysis, then the blue ocean strategy of how it actually works,
Mm-hmm.
then managing multiple business models,
Mm.
and with the example of Nespresso, and
Fantastic.
the design process, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically what are the phases. I'm not sure if this covers it, so probably we can like reword it, make it better. And the last one is around implementing business model, which is
Mm.
the practical application of it and what to look for in alignment. So these are
Okay.
the ideas.
I think
I'll
it's
just
fairly robust in terms of the 10 ideas. I'll share something that I learned by teaching this class. I don't know, probably it's not covered in the book, but how do you look at the business model canvas? For example, if you draw a line in the center, right, there is an external facing aspect of it and there's an internal facing aspect of it. The left side of the canvas is typically about what happens inside the organization, your partnership, your key activities, your resources, and all of that stuff, your cost for that matter. But whereas the external facing activity is all about your customers, your value proposition, your channels, your relationships, your revenue, things like that. So how do you look at a business model canvas as a product manager? How do you look at the business model canvas as an entrepreneur? How do you look at it as an investor? So these are all things generally, I don't think it's covered in the book. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm too brood in this. But always my class was enlightened whenever I showed the different views of the same A4 sheet. So I what I'm trying to say is, yes, you can understand any business using these 9 blocks. If at all if at all there is something to really drill the point, uh, there are about 16 business models, and there are about 5 patterns. There are about, 6 ways in which we can design it. And there is a value proposition canvas which lies inside the business model. So these are all, so if you can tell this like a story using one example, a simple example, and then you can really go through the whole thing. That is also another method I have seen. And uh, everybody knows BMC, but every time they go out of the class, they are like, oh my God, today I know it more. I have a new pair of eyes for the BMC. So that's something that you could also bring in. I'm just sharing this as what I have seen, because everybody knows BMC, but the nuances of BMC, not everybody knows. So it's just in the 10 ideas that you showed me, generally it's hard to cover in 30 minutes. Are you feeling that way?
Yes, definitely. Like especially the ideas 3 and 4. I've just clubbed everything together, and
No,
they
no,
are
no.
huge topics
Split
in
it.
themselves.
Split it into parts.
I,
Um,
I
and
think
also, there is one more aspect where, when you're talking about, say, an asset-based business, how does the BMC look like? When you're talking about a demand and supply, basically a platform business, how does it look like? When it is a long tail, how does it look like? Things like that, right? So it's the same BMC, but you will be able to see the difference in how the BMC is done. But this is an advanced way of looking at it. I'm not forcing you to think about it, but nevertheless, because you have read the book, keep it in back of your mind and see if you can bring in some examples. People understand these things only by great examples.
so, Kati, what you said, I mean, some of those things are there, like inside
Mm,
out, outside in, left brain,
yeah,
right brain. I think, let me actually take you guys through my slides.
sure.
Even long tail and everything is something I have covered. So, give me 1 second.
Yeah. So think like this. What are the 10 things that the receiver cannot miss? What would that be? And that's a great way of thinking about it.
1 second.
Okay.
So I'm just skipping the initial
Skip,
slides,
skip, skip.
introduction, and
No
everything.
problem. No
So
problem.
business. So first is business model canvas and the 9 building blocks. So I wanted to show everyone this is how it looks, and then go one by one. Keep the space in the business canvas fixed, and then go then customer segment type. I'll add pictures for this segmented, diversified, and then value proposition, non-exhaustive forces,
Fantastic.
then channels. So this I created my own diagram so that we can use it in multiple places.
Mm-hmm.
So direct, indirect, own, partnered, then channel phases, then customer relationships, categories, revenue
Types.
streams,
Yeah.
fixed, dynamic, uh, resources, activities, and then in
This
the
is
end
where you
everything else comes together.
got it.
So that's
Got it.
one.
Mm,
Second is using it. You how exactly we are supposed to use it. So
right.
the reason I thought this would be an interesting idea is we did not do something like this in the value proposition, and the author they keep saying that don't write anything on the canvas, write it there, put a sticky note. So I thought maybe again not emotionally attached to any of the ideas, we
Fair
can
enough.
get rid of any of those. Just to show how exactly this should
Yes.
look after the
Best
exercise.
practices. Got it. Got it.
Then again, the human brain, left brain, right brain. Then left canvases talks about efficiency, and right canvas I cannot
Talks about
see.
value. Yeah.
Yeah, in
Mm,
value. So and then unbundling, unbundled, and then the economics, competition, and culture, it goes outside, and then we fill these things. Then the long tail. I'll do it. I'll make it better today.
Got it. This, you can use your Netflix, you can use Amazon. These are all long tail models.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I jump. So long tail is a type, then multi-sided. That is something I'm still thinking about, an idea. I'll put it there by 5. And then free as a business model, how exactly you can do free insurance, bait and hook, freemium, and then open business models. I have just stolen this directly from the book.
Got it.
Then closed versus open, outside in versus inside out. You were saying that. Then based on customer insights, this is what I think Ananya was talking about.
Yes.
The empathy. So this is the exact same empathy map, and how
Right.
exactly it will look once we answer all these questions. So maybe this should come after the empathy map itself. And then ideation, what if questions, powers of diverse teams, brainstorming, silicow, visual thinking, prototyping. So for prototyping, I haven't added anything. If you remember, we did a lot of things last week. So might steal one of those slides and put it there. Storytelling, scenarios, and then environments. What exactly affects context, design drivers, constraints, trains. So this is all of this is in one single picture, but I think it's they haven't called it exactly what it is. So Potter's 5 forces, you see,
it is.
but they don't call it. But after all, if you read it, you're like, huh, this is Potter's 5 forces, and then like, okay, I'm not going to do it the way they have done, because that it's like the moment people hear it, they need to know that we're talking about Potter's 5 forces, because Porter's 5 forces is super important, and it'll help outside this book as well. So then macroeconomic forces, market forces, and then 5 phases. I know I have completely skipped some of the things like blue ocean, red ocean, but this is the way I thought this would be more interesting. But again, as I mentioned, happy to get rid of anything.
Yeah. So I know that in this book, our major struggle is going to be in concising. It's not going to be about content. It's about what to say, what not to say. The prioritization is what we will struggle with. That's what I thought. And hence, I want to hear from Madhu, Shruti, Ananya, Rohit. Awesome what you have shared. I think there is a huge potential in how we can bring some of these ideas into the final slides. So that's looking good. Any other thoughts from other folks?
Yeah, if I can share my slides.
Madhu's slides are very interesting, funny. So she has put a lot of humor in it.
Of course, we need diversity. Awesome.
Okay, so this is the first idea that I was talking with you, Kathy. Value creation is just one part of the story. So
correct.
So the others are delivering value, how we are going to capturing. That is what business model is all about. The
Fantastic.
next one is actually the business model canvas. So what differentiates this canvas from other business model techniques, right? This one, as you said, instead of reading through multiple pages, it gives a visual in just one page.
A4. Yes.
Get it, understanding, and everybody in the organization can get a shared understanding of the business model. It is not anything complex there. So that is where then I moved to the designing part, business model design part. So here the author emphasized more on the designer approach, right? So here he asked us to go not to limit ourselves with anything, just be bold with the ideas, and don't be constrained by anything. That's what he said.
Correct.
And there
Fantastic.
are different techniques he talks about, as we have already seen, right? Visual thinking, ideation, scenario based, everything. out of these techniques, I found the storytelling quite different in understanding, right? I had a different I had a different way of looking at storytelling, but here he asked us in a different way, right? Look it at a different way. It's about creating belief in your business model through storytelling. So that's what I found interesting, because when you propose a new model, everybody is going to protest against it. So you have to use your storytelling technique to make them believe your model, how it is going to, from a customer perspective, from an organization perspective, how it is going to
Right.
be different. So that belief, that was something different. I thought when he proposed the storytelling technique.
Got
Actually.
it.
So there are different ways the storytelling can be done, as comic strips or just a image, text, everything. So, and then okay, this one is basically that what Rohit was talking, right? POTUS 5 poses. So when it design, he encourages us to you allow the external environment to make our design choices, the
Right.
business choices. So we have to assess the environment, question it, and accordingly make changes.
Right.
This is the same. I mean, you can post that question. Each of these 4 components applies to all the 9 blocks. You can post any of these questions to all the 9 blocks and do assessment of your business model.
Right. Right.
And also, when it comes to external environment, it is not only about the current, immediate feature, right? Should be long term also. You should be creative with it. Do hypothesis, come up with various ideas, do prototyping, and then come up with a viable business model. So, and then this is the previous one was outside in. This is inside out. SWOT analysis we have to do. So you apply SWOT analysis for each of your 9 blocks and create a new business model. So that's what I was trying to say here. And then the blue ocean strategy I found extremely interesting in this book, actually, where increasing value, reducing cost, and you can apply this in a different way, right? You change the cost, how it impacts the other blocks. You change your value proportion, increase, decrease, anything, and then how it impacts the other blocks. Similarly, the customer. So this one I found interesting. And then this is managing multiple business models, especially the established organization. So whether we can combine the business models or keep it separate. I mean, that depends on your synergy. And then this one, okay, where the innovation has to happen, either for designing a new or exploring and exploiting the existing ones. And then this one was extremely interesting for me, where he talks about business model innovation being messy and unpredictable. Where you have to switch between your design attitude and decision attitude to come up with ideas and
Fantastic.
pick the final viable business model. So there is this legal he talked about. So that's that's
awesome. Awesome. I love a very interesting take on the business model generation. Very well done, Madhu. I think all of us have done our way of representation, and that's the awesomeness. Fantastic. Shruti, any thought process from your side?
No, actually, Karthi, I'll need a little more time because I'm still thing with my work and stuff. But don't worry, it won't be any hassle from my end. I just need a little bit more time.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, now that we have listened to all 3 of you, I'll just propose this. Feel free to poke holes in my ideas, thrash it, do what is the right thing for you. I'm only thinking in terms of your audience. Your audience may know business model canvas, may not know business model canvas. So it is important for you to tell them that you don't have to write business plans. A business model is a better way. And here is how it looks like. These are the 9 components, like exactly what Rohit said. These are the various components, and this is how you do it. And take one example, break it down, and say that this is how the whole 9 aspects of it can be done. But we don't have to get into the detail of, okay, there is a mass market, there's a niche market. I mean, if you go like that, then you're covering the whole book. Like literally, you will not have the time. So I'm only saying it from your audience perspective. Your audience need to know what are the 9 building blocks of a business model canvas. The second idea can be to how to use a business model canvas for you to analyze your business. The idea 3 is basically telling, hey, your business is just one part, but it is existing within a market. So there are some external forces which are making your business model succeed or fail. So it's very important for you to take a look at the external forces. There are different types of business model patterns that you will come across. And then there are different types of business models that you may, I don't know. So that was given to me. I learned the 16 models in a completely different setting. So this is not from the book, so I will not bother you. And then you can say how to design a business model canvas. Like literally, if you have to do it from scratch, how will you enter it? There comes the best practices of using post-its and how do you fill your customers, value prop, blah, blah, blah.
So that is idea number 3rd or 4th, the last one that you said with the sticky note thing.
So I am not, so it's like, what is business model canvas? What are the 9 building blocks? And what does it mean to have these 9 building blocks? And how can you represent them in a business model canvas, that A4 sheet? And then we are talking about what are the different patterns of business that we generally go through, the long tail, the multi-sided, all of that stuff. And then we talk about the things that Ananya had in her slides, the unbundled, the bundled, those kind of things as well. And then finally, in idea number 5, I liked how Madhu's was like super simple, like it's just one idea, take it, right? So the first few was like heavy on understanding. Like if you're totally new to business model canvas, you must know this. And the next, like there are 2 parts to it. First one was understanding BMC. The second one was the nuances of the BMC and how to use it. So that's how I'm splitting the first 5 ideas towards understanding, the next 5 ideas towards the nuances. I mean, I don't know if it is making sense. As I said, you can go ahead and trash it and come up with this new thought process. But whatever you do, make sure you take one business and really break it down into these things, because only with examples people will be able to understand. It cannot be it cannot be very conceptual is what I'm saying. You can say, okay, have you seen for example, Amazon? If you take Amazon, all types of business are there in Amazon. You can say Kindle is more an asset-based business. You can see Amazon.com being a multi-sided market. You can, so like that, you can actually, your cloud business, AWS is where I think it was. So the mass market was Kindle, the niche market was AWS. Like that, you can actually go on and on. I'm not saying that you have to be sticking to Amazon, but it is a good example. So it would be great if you can use examples to kind of break it down. It's just, how you're presenting it to your audience. You don't have to say everything. You can always point to them and say, you can go and read this from the book. The red ocean and the blue ocean is important. Why? Because lot of our leaders say, let's go blue ocean. They don't have the guts to do it. Look at all the conversations that we have in our office. We want to innovate. We want to innovate like Apple. Hey, if you want to innovate like Apple, you have to do a few things, which even Apple is not blue ocean many times, right? So it's important to talk about this, because these are typical things your audience will go through. Okay, Monday morning, if I go and really look at my business, can I use a business model canvas and understand better? If I use a business model canvas, where does my customer sit? What is the type of value prop? Things like that. Okay, now that I have understood my business model, can I go ahead and create a whole new business model? And then if I can create a whole new business model, how do I validate that this works? If I'm able to validate that this works, how am I going to use the business model to literally grow my career? That's the final thing, right? So I'm kind of seeing it from that perspective, truly, truly, truly audience oriented. Again, Madhu, Shruti, Ananya, Rohit, I will leave it to you to go ahead and dice it.
I have one question, Karthi. Sorry, go ahead. You finished.
Good. I almost completed. I wanted to say that take your stab and just put it in WhatsApp that this is what we are going to do.
So I just have one doubt. So I've just recently changed jobs, and I'm working currently in oil and gas industry, wherein I'm hired for digital transformation. So what I've seen is there's a lot of resistance, mostly. So the crowd is in the oil and gas industry specifically is more towards the older side, like 40 up.
Like
it's a little, a lot like a little ego, and like a lot of these things are more into adopting something like that.
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask you that with respect to tomorrow's presentation, can we bring up personal anecdotes as well?
Of course.
It's only
okay. Of course. You can always say you will face resistance,
right,
but you can use a business model canvas as your influencing tool to go ahead and talk about it. It helps you, it gives you a framework to articulate what you want to say.
Right.
And it gives a shared language. And that's a very, very big part of BMC, because you can talk about it in 200 pages. In one page, you will be able to sort out a lot of things. And that happens very, very often.
Got it, Karthi.
Yeah. And please help your audience to use these tools to go ahead and make their lives better from Monday morning onwards. That's the only thing that I would focus on, and tell them, because you know the book, you have read the book. And by the by, folks, if you feel like, for example, if Madhu feels my 10 ideas are mine and I really want to go ahead and put it out there, feel free to publish that. Do not waste it in the name of 10 by 30. Don't. You can publish saying this is Madhu's idea, this is Ananya's idea, this is Rohit's idea, this is Shruti's idea. You can go ahead and put it on your own channels and I don't know, probably your YouTubes and whatnot. And that will build your personal branding whatsoever. 10:30 you are doing as a group. So you don't have to waste what you have done, is what I'm saying.
Got it.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Yes, Scott, makes sense.
Is it helping? Is it making sense? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of what you said, I have put that in the comments so that everyone.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a lot of good notes. My God, I spoke so much. I will shut up.
No, I actually wrote only 10% of what you're saying.
Rohit, without saying, said that you talked.
No. I mean, whatever you said was, very important, and I have seen that in last time as well. So if you say anytime you make a point, it only adds value. So.
Oh my God! Oh, that's very kind of you. So, folks, can we do an async sync between all of you and keep putting it in the group? Between today and tomorrow, let's enhance this by 10x so that by tomorrow evening, we are like super ready. Can we do that? Like kind of make one slide deck for tomorrow evening. Whatever you have made, don't disturb it. Just make a copy of it and make a 10 by 30. And that will definitely help us. Yeah. Is it making sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Sure, Ananya. So if you need any help, you feel free to, between today and tomorrow, feel free to just add me and I should be able to come in. I'm going to wait for your final deck, and then we will make a decision on focus on examples. You need to land the concept, which means to land the concept, you need an example as a vehicle to explain it. So it would be awesome if we can bring an example and really talk about it. And that is what is going to take more time. And if you want to stick to one example like an Amazon, one example like Google, for example, they have done all business models. Look at them. They have done most of it. So you will be able to talk to your audience easily because these are well-known companies.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow, 10 a.m., can we do one more dry run?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 a.m. I might have a stupid astrology class. Okay. But 10 to 10:30, we will keep it short. And again, at 2 p.m., we will do our final dry run so that we are like super ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I will wait for more updates in the group, and Rohit, upload this video so that we can, have them in case we want to refer. Not that we will, but yeah, in case we want to refer.
I will do that.
Yeah?
Right
Okay,
after the
sir.
call, I'll upload it. Kati, if you're dropping out, if others can stay for 5 minutes, that would be,
Sure.
really-
Feel free to. If you want me to stay, I can stay. Otherwise, I will leave it to all of you.
No, we'll just discuss few things with them.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Kati.
Have a good one, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you. Hey everyone. So what I'll do is I'll create a master slide and I'll add everyone's ideas. I'll remove whatever is common, and then we can have a discussion that which ideas we want to keep. And given that there are 4 of us, we can divide like 4 people, 2. So somebody can speak on 3 points. 2 people will use 3 points. 2 people will use 2. Whichever way you want to go. If anyone wants to take 3 points, completely fine with that. So I'm proposing something. Just let me know if this works, doesn't work. I'll put in a slide right after the call. I'll add 10 ideas. We will discuss which 10 ideas you want to keep, and I'll also put an Excel who was speaking on which slide, and then given that I'll share the master with everyone. Whoever is using any speaking on any idea, they can work on that specific idea, borrow it from any of our slides, the pictures, diagrams, or anything, and then
Rohit, sorry, Rohit, based on what Karthi just said, right? Maybe we have to create a new structure itself, right? Can we just quickly put, I mean, since all 4 of us are here, can we just put all those, I mean, based on Karthi's input, can we just list those 10 ideas, what we can cover, and then
absolutely,
we can
that's
revise it, but
Actually, you'll have to give me some time. I'm just a little caught up, but I'll submit everything by today late evening.
no problem.
There'll be no delay from my end, but it's just that I'm a little stuck today.
No problem.
So let me coordinate with you all on the group if that works.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So
Fine
Madhu,
with me.
I hear you. That's what I was saying, that I will collate the ideas in one place, but if you want, we can do it online as well.
Okay.
So
Because
basically, the first 5 ideas towards understanding BMC and its components type. So we already have slides for that. And the last 5 is on nuances of the same. So some of your slides could directly be there, and then some ideas we would have to create and like pick and select. Because overall our ideas would be around 20 ideas rather than 10. Just reducing them to top 10 would make sense. We can remove the blue ocean. No, okay. Kati said to include it. Okay, I thought it's separate, so we can remove that. Okay, then we can include that also as one of the ideas. And yeah, I think for at least from my presentation, the feeling that I have is the last ideas are not very clearly illustrated, like moving towards the end of the presentation. And there's a reason for that. Like I was working, I got tired, so I just wrote the ideas with the examples. So probably, yeah, we can have those and selected. Also, I have to leave. I have a call at 3:30, so just need some breathing space before that. But I'll coordinate with you guys on the WhatsApp group. Does
No,
that sound
worries,
okay?
no worries, Ananya. And I don't think it will be 15 ideas. I will get rid of some of mine. So I think it will be at most 15. I don't think it will be 20,
Okay.
it will be around 10 to 15, and we can coordinate.
Okay.
And don't worry about it. So that's why I was saying that, I'll put these ideas like, only the ideas, and then we can discuss which ideas we want to keep. So let's Madhu, if you want to do it online, we can do it online. I'll stop the recording. One second.
Sure. Thank you, guys.